All right, guys, back with you here to take a look at Ethereum. And so actually today, well, a couple of things. One, I was thinking about what to do today for our second pick. And so ETH would be an obvious choice, but just to put the cherry on the top there, I'm over here on Lunar Crush, and lo and behold, guess what's coin of the day today? So their Galaxy score is, of course, very, very strong here in alt rank 76. So this is very good. So we really interesting to see this right as Ethereum is showing really some interesting signs of strength. Now, again, much like Bitcoin, let's not make too many assumptions here. And the other thing I'd just comment, if I sound a little different today, I'm on the road today. I'm traveling with a little family vacation. So I'm out in San Diego. I'm actually off of San Diego at a place called Coronado. What a spectacular place. But it's where the Navy SEALs do all of their training. So I've got military jets, fighter jets flying overhead constantly. And I know it sounds a bit like I'm in a tunnel. I'm actually just up in a little guest house here on my laptop. So different audio setup, different video. So just so you understand why it sounds so different. Okay, so let's get back here to Ethereum. Well, there are some interesting things here. Now, we have been stuck in this range right now. This pretty big range, right? So this has been going on for a long time, right? So just sideways. Now, maybe base building, or it could be. But from that, and what's defining that, well, here, talk about a great example of prior support becoming the resistance. And then this is also technical. So, well, this is probably, most of you also... Most of you all seen this many times, right? We've looked at this, right? So here's the wick gets through the 50 algo target. We get through it, but we know that's technical. But remember, all of these little pivots, right? So actually, I'm out here on a 3-day. So each one of these pivots, right, are substantial. So if we look here, I'm going to pull from. Come here. I'm going to pull from this pivot here to this pivot here, and you see how we come right to golden zone. So now you say, why are you using that pivot? Well, because it was also technical relative to the pivot that was above it. All right, so here's 50 to the tick, goes here, and we get third target to the tick here. It keeps going. But of course, I could go from the negative 100 to the negative 618 and keep going. Now here's the algo target's below zero, so we know that's not going to get hit. But yet, look how technical, right? So knowing, if I leave this here, knowing that an algorithm used this, right? We can just see it, right? We don't have to wonder about it. Knowing that an algorithm used that, then we can work from that pivot and then look at the reaction that we're getting here. So as I work from this swing here, so you can just see it so clearly here. And I know this is a 3-day chart, but look, we tag the 50, little reaction, right? So this is where the algorithm starts selling, pushes up. Note, again, as mentioned as often as I can so that you don't make this mistake, not the 618, right? It's not this, it's 65 to the tick, which is interesting because Bitcoin did a similar thing, right? When it made its first push up, it looked like it was going to break 65 to the tick, right? It's all algos. But then, of course, notice here, right? We go here. Oh, God, trading is never the first click. Golden zone, 50. To the tick. Now we're not going to go. We're not going to go get that. Here it's below zero. We run into the same structure. Now look what we're about to run into again. Right. So much like Bitcoin, don't assume we're going to break that. Right. In fact, assume it's going to hold until it gets on the other side. Do I think it's going to break? Yeah, of course I do. But remember, we're likely. But then we got to check this one. Right. So from here, there's your 50. Right. We're going to come up again. If it breaks that, then we got to go to the big one. Right, we know what we should, but that was the one we just drew up. So we know this one was in play, right? That was the 50 that was there. So we know that was used. But you got to keep going, right? You're not completely out of the woods here in terms of corrective price action until we get back to, approximately 1,000. That's your swing high to swing low. That's when we're in the clear, and then this becomes the next target. So until we get that, you got to go with what you can see. I can see exactly what happened here. So as we come up to that 50, once again, don't make assumptions. Let the market prove it. All right, let's go down. Let's try a 3-hour here. All right, so this is, of course, encouraging. Actually, let me pull back. I don't want to make this point again. Similar to Bitcoin, it's not identical. This, again, 10 Elliotticians are going to give you 10 different counts there. But this area here, if we look at this and consider this as somewhat corrective, right? Even though we're doing something, it's similar to Bitcoin. Is it a perfect triangle? Obviously not. The same idea. So this is what we're hoping, right? Bitcoin bulls, I should say, let's qualify it. Bitcoin bulls are hoping that we see come out of the triangle. Now we've got a little start on it, but we're not there yet. So coming up to this pivot, we know, well, there's two things we know. There are going to be stops there, but we know that, right? So that's potential fuel, right? Careful about the breakout, guys, right? Careful about buying that breakout. So, but this is what we're hoping we see in Bitcoin. Now here we're underway. So if you work backwards here, well, we don't really have the same kind of triangle here, even though the shaping of it is similar to what's happening in Bitcoin. But looking here, well, it is technical, right? That should not surprise you. Right? So if we work, it's just a series of them, right? So here, right, golden zone. I got you guys. It's the same thing. How many times have I shown that? 5,000 times. It's the same thing every market, every time. It never changes, right? Until they change this algorithm. Right, there it is again, right? So this was this golden zone. How many have I shown you just here? We're just getting started here. So another one goes to target. So you look and you go, all right, well, that looks pretty interesting. So what am I going to do from here? Well, there's 50 to the tick, right? Just algo ping pong. Right? As a matter of fact, I think from here, you got another golden zone. So look what you get here. Look at the confluence here. Right? These are places, hey, heads up when you see that, right? When you see a 50 and a golden zone on top of each other, yeah, take that trade, right? Look at that, right? We look where the targets are, and now look what we know. It looks like we could be heading towards second target. Don't let that trade slip by, unless you didn't see it, right? I mean, you got to pay attention to them. All right, so there you go. I'm guessing most of you all done this, or certainly members will have done that. So what do we get here? Swing low, swing high. Well, it looks like we get a little bit in between here, but look what we do with the Vegas wave. Right, we're in between. Where are we looking for the two? Nice ABC brings us down right where we're looking for it. Oh, let's just tickle the edge of the Vegas wave here. Now we start to spread. Now look as they're all pointing up. Right, again, how many algo pivots is that in a row? Right, same thing, guys. That's what moves the market. As I'm prone to calling it, it's the DNA of the market. That's what moves the. Well, let me rephrase. It's supply and demand fundamentals, buyers, sellers, right? All of that's what moves the market. But when it's moving, this is how it moves, right? This is the foundation from which Elliott counts are built. Again, whether you're a price action guy or an Elliottian, right? Or you just want to keep it simple, right? What do I get? Swing, internal retracement that I'm hoping to go external, goes external. Right, so so from here, this is our shorthand for where we're looking for the third. So let's get you off of there. It's not the prettiest, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but it'll work. That'll work for my 1 down to my 2. Right, where am I looking for the 3? Right, guess same thing every time, every chart, every video I've ever posted. It's always the same thing every time. That's the value. Doing it the same way every time. And what do we find by doing it the same way every time? Where are we anticipating to find the 3? Does it look like I might have a 3? Well, again, nothing says it has to stop here, right? It's not like, oh, well, it's going to stop there. No, of course not, right? It could blow right through that, right? There's nothing that mandates that we have to stop there. But if you do get your pivot there, well, certainly that'd be a reasonable place to assume that you might have the start on an impulse. Now, it doesn't complete until we get the 4, we don't overlap the 1, and all of that needs to happen. But you start building a case for a trade here, right? What do we got here? Well, we're to and through upper. So this being that it was in between the 50 and the 618, so your 80%, once again, realized blows right through. But here's your 80%. Right, so this is spent now. That doesn't mean we couldn't come back here, right? But the 80% comes off the corner. Oh shit! And then as I recall, so many. Almost every one of these was an algo pivot, right? All the way up. Right, that's how it moves, right? It's the DNA. Okay, so we've got this going here. So where are we in the count? Well, again, this is such a cluster. I'm not really, until I get resolution here, I'm not trying to label this. It's not helping me. This was a significant pivot. I know it was technical. So from here, right, golden zone to that, we just looked at that one. So it's elusive here. There's no way to have any confidence in what's there. Maybe that's your 2. From the low, it's the same problem with Bitcoin and so many of the alts as well, right? So let's get our So we just get our 38 here. So it's a 38, right? Of course, we've seen twos that only go to the 38. Maybe. So maybe this is your one. It doesn't really matter to me, right? So what matters now from here, we'll fill in the blanks, right? Once we get resolution up here, then we can work backwards. Okay, well, if this is the 5 or the 1 or the 3, maybe we're putting the 2 here. So, I mean, that's not out of bounds, right? 1, 2, but we could still be working through the 1 of the third here. It's too soon to say, let me do that again. So too soon to think, oh, God damn it. 1, 2, okay, maybe. Let's get you back down here. But it's not going to keep, because I can't label this with conviction, not going to keep me out of trading this. Right now, but I am certainly aware of some of the resistance that I'm likely to bump into up above. So it's where's the next opportunity? So right now, I can see I've got an Elliott wave that seems to be starting. Right. So from here, right, you can make a case that you had a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's your little impulse. Here's a correction. So you can start to put a count together here. 1, 2, 1, 2. We go on 3. Well, this is not likely to finish the 3 here, although it could. Right? Of course, it could. If this is 1 and this is 2 at the next degree, get on there. No, we're not to the 100 yet. And again, we just looked at this one. Oh man, I got a lot of noise going on in the background. So we're not there yet, but look how nicely that sets up. God, sounds like they're picking up the trash outside again. I'm at this little funky guest house in Coronado. So we're not there yet, right? But that sure looks like that would be a better looking. If this is at the next degree, if we're going 1, 2, we're going up to the 3. Well, I certainly want to be paying attention there. Jeez, sorry for the background noise. Okay, so 1, 2. Okay, maybe. So I'm going to wick all of this off. I'm not overly concerned about the fact that I don't have a precise count here. 1, 2. Okay, I can live with that. I know this is technical, and I've got a nice set of median lines here that I can work with. So if I'm going to go up here and tag any of this, well, I'd like to see it at least get to the 138, 1272 window, right? Second most common target for us. Now we may hit it right here. It doesn't have to be at one of these technical levels. We could go right here. Right? We could be there by tomorrow. Maybe the stops that we know are going to be sitting there, right, will be some fuel to drive it up there. It's just right now, it's just we got a good start on it. So let's go down to a 1 hour, see if we can break into that and see how it looks. Can we get a 1 in that? Yeah, I think you can. So this looks like we can come off this low, 2. Well, that's not 3. So here, let's scrunch this down. Could be 3, 4, 5. Could be. Let's get that down a degree. Oh, come here. Oh, Jesus, what am I doing here? Let's get you to, let's go sub micro. There, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Got a nice impulse. A, B, C for my 4. Why? There's no reason not to put that there. Is that going to help me? Well, I've already broken this. Am I going up for that 5? Well, there's the 100. There's the median line. How's my 2 to my 4? Again, same thing every time, every chart. Where's the high probability zone for a 4 between the 23 and the 38? Right, ideal. A little structure here. Up we go. Right, so that note here. Now we got an algo target. Now that algo target is not going to be relative to that, but it might be relative to that. Look what I get. Golden zone. Boom, right? Swing high, swing low, golden zone, right? Yeah, how many? I mean, virtually every pivot, damn near, right? Now we're down to a 1 hour, right? So we're going to have some stray pivots here, but I'll be willing to bet you. Let's get this one off of here. All right, this looks like might be 100 here, right? So there's your 100. So A, B, C comes down for the 2. And now we're off into this impulse here. So it looks really encouraging here. Like we've got Elliott that's playing. These swings are playing. Not only are they technical with regards to how algos are participating, but the Elliott count is starting to shape up here, even though we've got kind of a sloppy start to it, much like Bitcoin. Right, so Ethereum is starting to get a lot of traction. Let's get this dialed in here. Yep. 1, 2, 3. So let's let that finish. So if you're thinking about the next trade, well, I know, you got to be careful about entering the market, as I've been talked about quite a bit lately, and when we hit prior structure. So we know, even though we know, if I bring that to a 3 hour, we know this is a structural pivot here. I personally never buy breakouts like that. Don't do it. It's just, the risk is too high for to double top up here. So I careful about that, right? So you always want to be already in the market when you're approaching those pivots, not entering there. So if you do get the traction, oh great, right? But if you get the little pump and fake, then you're not getting hurt too badly from that, right? Depending on where you entered the market and where your stop is, but you're not vulnerable to that pump and dump kind of price action that you so often see at major pivots. So just be careful of that. I want this impulse here. If I've got a good 3 going in here, I want that to complete. I'm looking for the 4 to the 5. So give me the pivot up here. I don't know, again, is it here? I don't know where it is, but when I get it, then give me 3, and now I'm long again. Right? That's the trade that we're kind of waiting for. Give me the pivot. I don't know where it's coming from. Then give me that. Then I'm buying. Now, if I could get the 4. Right, this is what you hope. If you can get the 4, whether it's, again, I'll just throw it up here, to combine with some price action structure. Even this, right, would be well worth wicking off here in terms of potential retrace. Right, here's our 1, so we don't want to see that overlap. But look here, right, resistance, breaks. Now it's the support. So this would be something to pay attention to as well. So there's nothing out of the ordinary other than we have just this. We've been through this with Bitcoin so many times. Like what, hard 1, 2, 1. It's because it's so unclear. We aren't going to really be able to nail that down until we figure out how we resolve it. I should say, till we see how this resolves. Then we can work backwards, and ultimately we'll get a count here. But it's not keeping me out of the trade here because I can't get a handle on what's down there. I mean, could we label it? Sure, but what if you're not going to have a lot of conviction in it? What's the point? Yeah, I'm comfortable. This is me personally, right? Again, not being a purist. I'm comfortable just doing that. 1, 2, 3's up here somewhere, right? If this is going to hold as a bull count, right? I'm just fine with that. 1, 2, maybe 3. Good sign for bulls. Now let's see what the reaction is here. We know there's likely to be volatility as we approach that. Again, long way to go to get through all the resistance that's there, but this is really encouraging to see for crypto bulls, right? We want, certainly as would relate to the alts, we want Ethereum to lead. Which takes you back here. Alt rank number 1, Galaxy score. Anything over 50, bullish. And again, I've been referencing these guys a lot, so I think it's a really interesting site. But same, this or coin checkup, either one of these checks. So if you can get multiple confirmation about strength with different algorithms. Whoops, let me go back over here. Something along those lines. So when we get a pivot up here, so what you could think of it this way, what are we looking for? A swing and an internal retracement that goes external. There you go, guys. All right, there you go. Well, that's it. I'll be back in the home office when I'm back with you guys on Monday. So if it sounded weird or funky or like I'm in a tunnel, that's why. All right, so there you go. Hope that's helpful to you guys. As always, right, you guys know this, right, with YouTube subs that might be watching here, you can always join us for free. Just come on over to TradeDevils.com. We welcome free members. You won't have access to all of our content, obviously, of course, but you'll get a good start on it and get a feel for what it's like to be part of the community, get into the Discord. I've got people commenting underneath the video saying, hey, man, nice stuff. Do you have a Discord? Well, yeah, of course, right? That's where you land. When you join as a free member, what you're getting is access to the Discord, right? Again, not complete access because we make that distinction between free and paid members. But if you want to start that process, that's a good way to do it. And of course, you get full access to the white belt if the Elliott pieces are of interest to you. Okay, guys, there you go. Have a good weekend. I'll be back to you on Monday. Until then, take it easy.